Obviously, as we've started 2025, I wanted to talk a little bit about some of the goals that I've got and how I'm going to make sure that I do the best of my ability to achieve them goals. Starting with my agency. That is just clearly scaling that as big as possible. Consistency, and also work with many new clients, new professionals, just aiming to provide good quality content, good strategy, and overall success for clients in different industries, because the agency is spread over a few different sort of industries. That's the main goal. I do usually set like quarterly benchmarks, but I'm not going to go too in depth in the video. The next one would be just to travel. I did a lot of traveling last year, but it wasn't the best because it was very crammed in. It was moving around a lot. It didn't feel like fulfilled. Do you know what I mean? It was like it didn't have the right intention behind it for the travels. Obviously, visit new places, maybe visit some places that I've been to before, which I really enjoyed. But ultimately, it will be bringing you guys along. It will be traveling and enjoying it, documenting each part of it whilst working at the same time, and just have the trips just to enjoy it. I want to be more consistent with personal branding, building consistency in that space, developing my niche, launching content on YouTube, LinkedIn, Instagram, etc., etc. In terms of fitness, I'd like to run like a half marathon or a marathon this year. Never done one before, so I think that would be a good challenge for myself. Or I've always been interested in like winter sports, so maybe try and get in like a little ski trip soon, or maybe the end of the year. Just build consistency with fitness, keep going to the gym like 4 or 5 times per week, new routines, and just make sure I'm tracking each of the metrics and move forward with that. In terms of languages, I want to improve my French and Spanish. I've obviously been learning for a while anyway, but just to commit to more time. It's a lot to fit everything in at once, so I just need to structure my weeks appropriately. In terms of music, I want to get my album released. So I've been working on an album since I went traveling around Southeast Asia last year. I need to get that finished up and released, hopefully within the next 2-3 months-ish. For the year, I want to read a book per month. I don't want to put too much pressure on reading, but I do feel like reading is so essential, especially for upgrading your knowledge. And it's also a good time to just relax and de-stress. Currently, I'm reading The Millionaire Fastlane. Very, very good book. But if I had to recommend any, Atomic Habits is good if you're getting started and you want to build consistency in your life and in your routines. Also, I have been reading it for a while. I haven't finished it yet, but I'm going to get back into it. The Lean Startup is a great book, especially if you want technical knowledge on building a startup, building maybe an agency or just a business for yourself. It has great insights, industry insights of people who have lived that experience. So it's great to learn from. I just think if you can dedicate 30 minutes to reading before bed each day, or maybe when you wake up in the morning, it sets you up, you're learning new things, and yeah, it's good for your mind as well. So they're the goals for the year. I want to look back at this time next year, and hopefully all of those have been achieved.
Lie down, sit down, whatever it takes, relax.
Okay, so I'm just sitting down to write my LinkedIn post. It's not the most exciting thing in the world. It's important, like, to yourself that you just show up every day. That's the whole point. I have like this methodology that I write down my goals and I just make sure I show up for myself and I make sure I get the things done. I just thought I'd share what I've written today anyway. So like the art of working hard without burning out. So in a world where a lot of the time hustle culture dominates, it's easy to get caught up in the grind, wanting to work every day. We tell ourselves that success is just around the corner, so we keep pushing harder and harder and harder. Less time with friends, family, actually living activities and so on. But what is the key to sustainable success isn't just working harder, it's working smarter. Maybe, who knows? The truth is, your creativity and productivity thrive when you make time to recharge. Taking time for yourself isn't indulgent, it's essential. Here's the balance. Work with intention, not just intensity. Prioritize the tasks that move the needle and let go of busy work. Create space for rest and reflection. So one thing that I've found recently that helps a lot is journaling. So sitting down maybe once or twice a week and just writing out your goals, writing out thoughts, feelings, and not overcomplicating everything, not overthinking everything. Just setting it there, getting it done. And ultimately, don't put too much pressure on yourself. Some of the best ideas are born when you step away from the desk. I know for myself personally, a lot of ideas come to me when I'm out actually doing things. Especially most of my career being within music, the music industry and so on. A lot of music ideas and tracks that are made are when I'm not actually sat making music. I did a job with BandLab, and a lot of ideas that came songs I made through their platform and published, it came when I was literally when I was in Bali, sat at the beach. Ideas came, made songs, and went from there. Redefine success as more than achievements. You take care of yourself, you're not just showing up, you're also showing up better for the people around you and the mission you're working toward. So yeah, work hard, but don't forget to live as well. Don't forget to live fully. Success isn't just about what you achieve, it's how you feel while you're achieving it. But yeah, maybe think to yourself, maybe start journaling, maybe get some prompts online, maybe just sit down and say to yourself, what's one thing you'll do today to make a bit more time for yourself? So it's not just work, 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 work. You're actually making time for yourself as well, and reflecting and so on. And yeah, a lot of the time you will just get into the habit of just saying you've got to do things, you've got to work, you've got to get everything done. But I know for myself personally, when I'm transitioning from making music all the time, either for myself or for clients, running the agency, doing content with brands, or partnering with people to create info products and so on, there's a lot to manage, there's a lot to do. I also have a habit, like a big interest in learning languages. I have to keep on top of all of that as well, because I like to do that each day. You don't need to do everything all at once. Just build little habits each day and the success will compound over time. As long as you're on the right path and you've got the right vision in mind, there's no reason why you won't get there. Even if it's small progress, each day you will get there eventually. I like to do some breath work each day. Probably heard of him, the Wim Hof method. I like to do his breathing exercises. Also the cold showers and stuff are so beneficial. Just got some contracts to send, and yeah, and that's it. It should be a good day. Today I thought I'd work from a different space. Came to a new coffee shop which I've never been to before. I think a lot of people don't realise how important it is to actually get out of the house and try a different space. It can boost your productivity, keeps everything quite balanced, especially in a coffee shop. It's chill and coffee. It doesn't always have to be so serious all the time. So I'll probably stay for a little bit longer. I'm just working on a few bits for my agency, for work. It's good to mix productivity with a bit of downtime. So a few months ago I was in a position where I was a bit stuck on what direction I wanted to go down. A lot of you just need to start. You need to sit with yourself, you need to write out what you're good at, what you're not good at, and look at ways that you can take courses to build on that knowledge and grow as an individual. And then ultimately just take action. Even if you are not the most experienced in that space, it's better to just start and see what you build as you go, and then just adapt as you move forward. It's all about the long-term impact and not just thinking, oh, what if I start in 3 weeks time, 4 weeks time, when you're losing time. You need to just start now.